my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Hi guys, I know it's been a while since I made an update. I am going to be going into my 34th week this week. If you see dogs walking by, I'm probably going to edit them. Okay. But this video is not only a 34-week pregnancy update, but mainly my focus for this video is the glucose test. Just things to know going into the glucose test, how my glucose test went, the frustrating parts about it that I didn't like. So the glucose test, it's basically to test if you have diabetes or not in pregnancy. Even though you don't have diabetes in regular life, pregnancy can change that, and you can get diabetes due to pregnancy. So it's always good to take it and just to see. But I was very confident in myself that I didn't have diabetes. Some things they say that are signs of diabetes is if you're measuring bigger, if your baby's looking bigger, things like that. With every appointment I was going to, they kept saying I was measuring correctly. Everything looked on track. They had no concerns. I wasn't swelling. Swelling's a sign as well. And I was looking out for these signs and I really didn't see anything. But I am 34 weeks, so I am out of breath. I do apologize for that. But so I wasn't even told by my doctor about the glucose test. It's just because YouTube videos and vloggers and stuff like that, every week I watch numerous videos on what to expect for that week. And starting at week 26, I started noticing a lot of the women saying you should be getting into the glucose testing. Well, with every appointment, my doctor never mentioned it. So glucose test usually takes place between 26 and 30 weeks. Mine was, I believe, 28 weeks. So, and it's because I mentioned it to my doctor. And I was like, so am I supposed to be having the glucose test? And he was like, oh, have you not? I'm like, you're the doctor, you should know. I didn't say that, but in my head, I'm like, you're the doctor, you should know. He's a great doctor, much better than the last one with the baby I lost last year. Much better. He actually cares, actually wants this baby to be healthy and stuff. But I do think they do get busy and preoccupied. So he's like, oh, you haven't had it yet? And I was like, no. So he's like, okay, we'll send you off to go do that. So you drink this little drink. It's a really sugary drink, and this is where pros and cons of it is never in a normal day-to-day would you ever intake that much sugar. So that right there is just weird. They didn't even offer me the drink. I had to mention it to them. I was like, am I supposed to have a drink with it too? And they're like, oh yeah, you take this home. I'm like, okay. So I took it home. In between that appointment and the glucose test, I had my baby shower. It went good. It was really successful. Someone's mowing right behind us. I know it. I know it. How dare. You're going to hear mowing and barking. I'm outside. Change of scenery. Anyway, I had my baby shower. It was really successful. I threw it myself. Made the invitations myself. So what could have costed just to throw in a little baby shower stuff, what could have costed out the ass to have hired someone in the location, I think I spent $200 at most, maybe a little more, but still saved a lot. I met my husband's family for the first time because they live far away. So when we got married, is kind of during post-COVID times, but still use regulations. We didn't get traditionally married. We did go sign the paperwork at my mom's house, with just my mom and my oldest sister as the witness. And then we had a photo shoot at one of my favorite gardens So that was our wedding, and then we came back to the house. So love his family didn't make the wedding, so I met a lot of them at the baby shower, and it was really nice. It went well. Everything went great. We got a lot of stuff. We got the crib, got the bassinet, car seat. So in my opinion, we got the bare necessities. So if she were to pop out early, I think we're good to go. But when it comes to, like, obviously we got a lot of diapers, but obviously we'll need a lot more diapers. Following week after the baby shower was my glucose test. So no one told me, and that's why I'm making this video, to let you guys know, fast. Make sure you fast before you do the glucose test. No one told me. So I had a pretty big breakfast. I had biscuits and gravy and a coffee. I allowed myself a coffee. Once I hit my 3rd trimester, I felt safe in taking some caffeine. So I had a coffee and biscuits and gravy. And then we went to go take the glucose test. She loves it though. So different doctors' offices will have different scales, which doesn't make sense to me, because if you're passing or failing, if you have too much sugar or too little sugar, it shouldn't be a different scale. But according to my doctor, you had to hit between 70 and 135 to pass the 1 hour glucose test. What that means is in 1 hour you take the string, and then in 1 hour they take your blood to see how much your sugar level is. If it's too high, you basically fail. And I know my therapist got upset that I used the term fail, but you fail it. You didn't pass, you oppositely passed, so you failed. It was too high. But it's so stupid, because it was only high by 5 points, 140. And again, at some doctors' offices, their range is to like 200. And if it had been, I do want to make it clear, if it had been like in the 200s, I would have taken it seriously. And I would have been like, damn, I might have gestational diabetes with this pregnancy. 5 points over 140, knowing other clinics, that's a passing score. And knowing I had a big breakfast when no one told me I needed to fast, I'm going to be honest, I was very pissed that they were telling me I now have to do the 3-hour glucose test. My little small part of my history, I have had an eating disorder in the past. And I love this pregnancy because I can eat, not whatever, but I can eat freely, not overthinking, not worried. They're all saying I'm gaining the correct amount of weight. With my last pregnancy, the one I lost, I started at 130. I was like 140 maybe. By the time I miscarried that baby, literally the next day after the miscarried Thanksgiving Day, the next day, I was 130 again. So I'm fine. With this pregnancy right now, currently I'm at 156, which is fine. Perfect amount of weight to be gaining. Not too much, not too little. I don't overly think about what I eat. And so if you do end up having gestational diabetes, you would have to go on a diet, and you would have to watch what you eat. And that would, I'm just being honest, would trigger my eating issues, because if I have to think about what I need to eat, my brain hates the idea of thinking about it too much to where I just don't eat. And I can't do that with my little baby. I cannot afford to do that. So it messed with my mind, not only eating issue wise, but also like I was mad. Here I was, really, before even the first pregnancy, trying to build my health up so I could have a healthy baby. So I put so much thought into this, I guess, yeah, this particular pregnancy, the one that would actually allow me to have a healthy baby, for me to be healthy. And that's why after the miscarriage, I broke down to my sister, and I'm like, am I not even meant to be a mom? Because if the universe is telling me no, who the fuck am I to be like, well, I'm going to try again. I'm going to, whatever. And then I ended up being pregnant again. So I'm like, okay, sarah, sarah, that's my quote. What will be, will be. So I want to be as healthy as I can for my baby. So I didn't want to do the 3-hour glucose. Again, you have to fast, and now I have to fast for 3 freaking hours. I was so annoyed. I really tried to just ignore it. There's going to be barking in the background. I'm sorry. They're not my dogs. They're little Yorkies across the way. So I find it unfair. You have to fast for 3 hours. No, you have to fast from midnight to the time of your appointment, which technically you're still fasting because you can't eat during the 3 hours you're taking this stupid glucose test. So I couldn't eat from midnight to noon the next day. That's not like me. I've gotten used to eating. That's the funny thing, is I'm so opposite of how I was with an eating disorder. I eat breakfast, I eat lunch, I eat snacks. I have some type of sweet treat for myself once a day. Like, I look forward to that stuff. So I was really mad. And I tried to just ignore it, but I talked to my therapist, I think the day before I turned 30 weeks. She's like, I would highly recommend, because yes, there are reasons, and that's the thing, there are logical reasons why this number was high, why it was 140. I ate breakfast. No one told me to fast. No way, shape, or form would we ever ingest that much sugar in a normal day-to-day. So it's really stupid. But she's like, in that one chance, you might actually have gestational diabetes, you would like to know, and your baby you need to know for your baby. So she guilt tripped me in a way, but I guess that is what the responsible thing to do is. There are alternatives. You could check your diabetes yourself, I think twice a day or twice a week, something like that, on your own, like take your blood and test it yourself. But again, I was hitting 30 weeks, and they're usually taken between 26 and 30 weeks. So I needed to go do it. Now the reason it's between 26 to 30 weeks, and 30 weeks is the cutoff, because my mom was like, why can't you just go ahead and do the 1 hour again? Because even if I were to fail the 1 hour again, then I'd still inevitably have to do the 3 hour. And the reason 30 weeks is the cutoff is because, well, now at 34 weeks, she's growing, having less room to move. And so when you put that sugary drink in you, you're gonna automatically throw it up because there's no room. Let me tell you, the 3 hour one, it was as miserable, if not more so, than I thought it was gonna be. Because again, I had to fast from midnight the night before to basically noon the next day. So I go in, I was cranky, but whatever. I was gonna just go ahead and do it. And I go up there, and they have to take her blood first. And that's another thing, is the amount of blood they have to take, it also makes you woozy. So like, I haven't eaten, they're going to be taking a lot of blood, and I can't eat until this thing is over with. So yeah, I was getting really woozy. I was also getting really nauseous. They drew my blood before I drank the drink, and then I drank the drink. And I have to tell you, those first 2 hours after taking that drink, I had to really think and maintain not throwing it up. I had to literally sit here like this. Things started coming up, and I automatically, it's gross, but just swallow it like a bitch and just get over it, because I did not want to throw it up. And so I go back up there at the 2 hour mark, and I asked them, I was like, well, I guess at the 1 hour mark, after one whole hour passed, and I asked them, I was like, have you guys ever had someone throw this up? And they're like, why, have you? And I was like, no, I haven't, but I'm not feeling good. They gave me water, they gave me a cool pad or something like that, and all that. So they're helping me not to throw up, but they said if you do, a lot of misconception is if you do throw it up, you have to redo it. They'll just collect what they have and send that off. That challenged me in my mind. I'm weird, and I take things as challenges. Now there's locusts in the background. Whatever. I challenge myself now that I'm already doing it. I don't want to tap out. So, some way, somehow, some miracle, I make it through the whole 3 hours. They took my blood beginning, and then at the 1 hour, the 2 hour. Then at the 3 hour, I had my OB appointment. So we had to go downstairs. We had the little timer in our hand, but we go downstairs, and he took forever just to come in, check the heartbeat, measure my belly, ask any questions. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go get my last glucose test thing done. And everyone was like worried. They're like, are you sick? Because I had a throw up bag too. So they gave me water, cooling pad, and a throw up bag. So people are like, are you sick? I'm like, I'm doing the glucose test right now, so it's not fun. And so he's like, okay, well, go back up there. So I go back up and get my 3-hour blood drawn. Case in point, I passed. I do not have gestational diabetes, and I passed it right in the middle at 96. So anything below 55 and anything higher than 139, which that changed, because remember 135, I failed at 140, which they said I failed at 5 points, so that changed. But I passed it. It's in the green. I don't have gestational diabetes, and put that chapter behind me. But I did just want to really dive deep into the pros and cons of gestational diabetes. Yes, it's important to know. It really is. Do not eat before the 1 hour. If you think that's miserable, the 3 hour is 10 times more miserable. So just don't eat during the first one. I don't know why they didn't tell me that, but it is what it is. But that's just my update. I do have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'm 34 weeks this week, and I've been feeling a lot of Braxton Hicks contractions. I really want her to stay in at least till full term, 37 weeks, if not longer, and if not until the full 40. But I'm still working. I have gone, this is my last week grooming big dogs. After this week, I'm going to go on a weight restriction. But yeah, doing pretty good. I'm telling pet parents, like, I'm going on maternity leave here soon. A lot of pet parents are like, you're not pregnant. And one lady tried to argue with me. She's like, why are you going on maternity leave so early? I'm like, because I'm 8 months, and so it's next month. I'm due September 30th. And she's like, you only look 4 months, like, you're itty bitty. But I'm like, okay. But I'm 8 months, so, but yeah, so far all so good. And so far, I have enjoyed pregnancy, every part of it. The only part was the gestational diabetes testing was annoying for me, because I knew why I failed the first one. There's a logical reason they're still making me do it. And then, but knowing to know I don't have it is a huge relief. I am glad about that. And then the second thing I haven't liked has been recently, in the last week, 33 weeks, acid reflux. Oh my god, that is horrible. It feels like your throat is burning. My voice sounds off right now because it's just been burning. I did throw up a few times. I have to watch what I eat. Not diet-wise, but just because I don't want to throw it back up. It's really gross. I ended up getting Tums chewables. But yeah, like, I'm trying to sleep at night, and it just is burning, and it feels like someone's trying to suffocate me in the night. So it gets worse and worse. But I can't sleep in a recliner. A, it hurts my back, and I move a lot. So I just prop myself up at night with pillows. That helps, and the Tums helps. And also, I've been seeing a chiropractor, and I like that because it does let me know that the baby's in the correct position. Like, she's already face down. I know they move, but it helps to let me know she's okay. And also, it's been helping with the aches and pains I do feel as a groomer, let alone a groomer who's a pregnant woman. It's not comfortable. I did get a letter to sit, which again is not part of the job I have. It's just part of the stupid company I'm a part of. Sorry, that's a stupid rule for a company to have, that groomers can't sit. It's like, stand 8 hours a day. Like, that's unhealthy for anybody. I do have a stool at work, and I am going, after this week, I'm done grooming big dogs. And then, yeah, next month I'm going on maternity leave, and who knows, so it's already getting so close. I know I haven't made that many videos. I just really want to make sure I'm, like, fully there and everything. So I always thought it'd be like, oh, this week my symptoms were, this week my symptoms were. But I just didn't want to jinx it and be like, this week my symptoms were, this week my symptoms were, oh, this week I'm not pregnant. You know, like what happened last time. I just didn't want to go through that. So, but she's been fine. She's been measuring fine. I might add a clip to let you guys know how tomorrow's appointment goes. Might not. Who knows? I don't think anything amazing is going to happen in that one. I think he's just going to hear the heartbeat, measure her again, and ask me about anything. I may mention the acid reflux and the Braxton Hicks that I have been feeling. But I don't know when my next one will be, but my next video will be. But I will see you then, whenever it is. And hope you guys have a beautiful day. Thanks much. Bye. 34 week bumpity bump. Bumpity bump. Yeah. Okay.